welcome to another Say It Loud. I am here with Jennifer Beeston. Jennifer, this is a big deal to have you on here, girl. You barely have time for this, let alone to do the loans that you're doing. You've got a lot going on. Just in case people aren't familiar, Jennifer, I'm gonna throw you a shout out because your stats are incredible. You had over $240 million worth of loans funded last year.
Yep.
It's not like over a lifetime. That is last year. That is huge. That is huge. And you're the number one VA lender, loan originator.
Female, only the female. The guys still have me.
You know what? You're gonna lapse. I can feel it.
I'm going for it. I mean, that is the goal. The goal is to not just be the, number one female for VA in the country, but number one overall. But I've got a little running to do, to say the least.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, I kind of feel like it's been a boys' club for a little bit.
It is definitely a product that you often will hear spoken about more by male loan officers for sure, but there is great opportunity for women in VA as well as men. I think everyone should be looking at that product, in all honesty.
I love that. Actually, let's start there. Walk me back. How did you get started by way of kind of targeting and going for those VA loans?
So I've actually been in the business for 15 years. I didn't start going aggressively after VA until about 3 years ago. And the trigger was I had a conversation with a real estate agent where she was telling me what her son was being charged, and he was military. Okay. And then I looked at where I was a full percent lower, a full percent. So I asked my company, hey, I'm confused. What in the world could be happening? And I got data. And the data showed me that with VA, based on what lender you talk to, the interest rate and the fees could vary so dramatically. I've talked to people over the last 2 years where a lender was quoting them literally 1.5% higher than where I was.
What?
It's nuts. And so that's why when lenders are like, well, I don't want to learn VA, it's too hard. Guys, there's a huge opportunity because there's so many people out there that are just, being really predatory. Do not do that. Don't be that person charging 1.5 higher than me because I'll find you. But yeah, it's a part of the market. FHA is very similar where you'll see these huge swings between lenders. So if you're a good, aggressively priced lender who can learn guidelines, there is a lot of opportunity to grow your business and really help people. And I mean, honestly, that's the win-win for me, growing my business, helping people and having a great time. Yes.
Right. I feel like that's such an interesting stat to have because this is a community that has served their country that we literally owe our freedoms to. And yet we're going to take advantage of them and charge them higher points and fees.
Yeah, it's because, they're known to as a group, traditionally, they haven't been aggressive rate shoppers, right. Not at the same level that you'll see with conventional or jumbo. Same thing with FHA. When you look at some of the research, they're not aggressive rate shoppers. So that's been something on YouTube. And one of the things that really pushed my channels was I'm teaching people how to aggressively rate shop because these people, literally the reason you and I are sitting here is because they've made sacrifices. They should be getting the best deal. They should be getting the best service. They shouldn't be told, well, it's a lot higher because you're VA, because that's not true. VA rates should always be lower than conventional. Right. Same with FHA. Right. So huge opportunity for loan officers, who want to do some good and grow their business.
That's amazing. Definitely. And good for you for seeing that, recognizing it and saying, no, I can do better than this.
Yeah. I mean, look, I had been in loans long enough where I think at some point as an originator, you're either going to go there's different ways. There's some people who just go dark and chase money, which I would always say, the minute you start chasing money is the minute your career's over because your clients need to come first. And I was at a point where I was like, I have this platform on YouTube. Wow, there's a problem. Let's combine it and fix it. This is so much more rewarding than just slinging loans.
Right.
So I've really enjoyed it because it's given me, a passion project of this is what I want to fix in the industry before I retire.
Amazing. Amazing. And by way of those FHA borrowers, how are you approaching them? What's your approach with them? Because FHA, so just a little bit of quick background on me.
Yeah.
I'm also a licensed realtor here in the state of Utah. I've had a couple of FHA buyers that I've helped.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little bit more challenging of a situation that you're dealing with. What do you do to try to circumvent that and to help those borrowers and yet give them that kind of personalized feel to make them feel like they're not a burden?
Well, okay. So we just flipped from VA to FHA.
I know.
Okay. So I just want to make sure everyone stayed along. Okay. So, look, FHA is something that I'm moving. I used to do a ton of FHA back in the day, like 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. Last few years, we haven't seen as much in the market, but it's something that I think, based on what I'm seeing with the economy, I think FHA is going to be stronger and stronger. We don't treat anyone different. I don't feel like loans are harder. I don't feel like VA loans are harder. I fully underwrite every single pre-approval with an underwriter so that FHA buyer is going to write an offer and they're already fully underwritten. They're not a burden or anything else. They're just as strong as conventional because we've already done all our homework to put them in the best light. Like, do I do shady FHA loans where everything's being stretched? Absolutely not. You've got to make sure you're making, the right choices with all of these products and not trying to go to the limits of what will work because often that will blow up in your face.
I love that answer. So to kind of relate back to YouTube and how YouTube has been able to benefit you and your career and reaching those buyers, particularly, like you said, encouraging that rate shopping with VA borrowers. How have you leveraged having YouTube and the content that you put out there to really, like, what is it that's resonating with your consumers?
I don't sell. So, that's the thing. I'm not, I'm a salesperson because I'm a mortgage lender, but I don't sell. It's very education based, but it's not dry. I don't have a teleprompter. I don't have a script. It's like your friend just telling you, hey, here's the bullshit, excuse my language, that they're trying to pull. And this is what you have to watch out for. Here's how you can fix it. Here's the 6 questions to ask. It's very consumer empowered focused. And 90% of my business is from YouTube now.
Is that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's like, look, with real estate agents, do we still, if they send us a client, do we take care of them? Of course. Right. But am I actively out pursuing real estate agents? No, I'm actively pursuing. I want that client because I also want to make sure that if the client's working with a sketchy real estate agent, I can say, hey, something's not right here. Like, maybe you should switch. Like, yeah, if the foundation's cracked, that is an issue. Your home warranty won't fix it. Right. So YouTube's been great, but I think a lot of people are like, well, should I get into YouTube as a mortgage originator? It's probably the next question, right? Yeah. Okay. Look, it took 3 years before I started to see any level of clients from it. Okay. That's 3 years, 2, 3 videos a week, just sitting in the chair, talking, hoping, praying, and even still, I'm running a really big business and I'm still filming, 3 times a week. Plus you've got Instagram, TikTok, all these other channels that you're leveraging to make sure that you're there. And there's a lot of comments and questions and, so you just have to be, if you're passionate about it and you have a purpose, you'll do great. If you're just trying to get a couple sales, you'll post 2 videos and stop.
Right. I heard a quote actually today. I listened to a lot of Gary Vee and he was talking about the second you start selling on your content is the second you turn everyone off. 100%. I actually filmed a short yesterday and I didn't realize it. Like, shorts are new for me on YouTube. So shorter content's really tough for me. Right. And someone wrote this comment. It was so harsh. It was like, why is there an ad on shorts? This is cringy AF.
And it was because I had like, in shorts, gone into that sales mode. So I think it's 100% correct that, you just have to really educate and be empowered. And if you start, yeah, that was the point. Cringy AF.
Well, I love that. So in balancing all of this and balancing the content that you're putting out there, the balancing of the different platforms, the balancing of the comments, how do you do that? How do you do that? How are you able to kind of remove yourself from them? Or do you not remove yourself from them and you're fully immersed in it?
I'm pretty darn immersed at this point. I'm not good. Here's the thing. I can't hire someone to respond to YouTube comments because a lot of it is lone questions or scenarios. So who am I going to have that's going to, respond to YouTube comments that has the same level of structuring and experience I have? If it's someone that's like, oh, I love your channel, do I have someone that can hit a like button? Absolutely. So I do have a gal, Alexis, who helps out with all of that. But I'm still fully immersed. Yes. Whenever you go on social media, you're going to get some hate. Like Facebook's the creepiest. I'm just going to tell you guys that right now. Have you, I don't know if it's just for women that it's creepy, but
I don't know, but it's creepy. You're not wrong. That is the perfect word for it. Of daily comments of just being like, no, like, block.
Yeah. You're just like, what rock did you come out from under? So, if you're nervous about starting, I would not start out on Facebook. I feel like YouTube, TikTok, you've got to have a thick skin. Have you guys done TikTok yet?
Not yet, but it's coming.
Okay. So just TikTok, you have to understand that 50% of the people are going to tell you that you're stupid and horrible, and 50% of the people are going to love you. And it's of this people they will call, but these are the ones that are going to watch the most.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, I do the best that I can. I make mistakes all the time. Some of the videos I put out are cringy AF, but some of them are really helpful for people. And that's the goal.
I love that. You're right. I mean, that is it. And you're ultimately growing and you're expanding and you're trying something different. You're trying new things and it's obviously working for you. So that's the part where I want to almost double down and be like, you guys can say whatever you want, but I'm laughing all the way to the bank. Clearly it's working out.
Yeah. I mean, look, if someone hates on you, there's no point in I just usually respond like the cringy one. I was just like, yeah, welcome to the channel. Please like and subscribe. Like, okay, cool. Like one day you're going to care about FHA loans and you're going to want to know who can give you a gift and who can't. So you might look back at this video and maybe it's less cringe. I don't know. So
it all depends on your mindset and how you go into it, I guess.
Yeah. And the other key with social media that I think is really important is you've got to be able to back up what you're talking about. So, I think one of the issues in our industry is a lot of the ways the lenders are set up. It's to get the loan officers selling before they know how to do a loan.
Yeah.
And social media, oh, that's deadly, because if you get a client from social media and you screw up, you're going to get slayed on like every single platform. They will come after you.
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. Your savvy users are finding you because they're savvy on social media. So if you screw something up, that's exactly where they're turning.
Yeah. I mean, my clients start off at YouTube, then they go to Instagram to make sure I'm a real person. Then they check out my Google reviews to make sure that it's legit. And then they might circle to other platforms, but you've got to be able to stay to what you're preaching.
Got it. That makes sense. How do you stay up on everything? How were you able to kind of immerse yourself into this so that you did become that expert?
Well, I mean, look, my early career, I was the queen of every difficult loan you could find. So, I was doing VA, USDA, FHA, all that stuff back in the beginning. They're really not hard now with technology. Like they're not hard at all. And then I have so many scenarios that come to me on a daily basis now. At Guarantee Rate, we have underwriting on demand where I can basically say, hey, I'm not sure about this. Does this make sense with Fannie or Freddie? Here are my concerns. And I'll have an underwriter respond to me in a couple hours and tell me. So, knowing your guides, making sure, and if you're at a company where you don't have that sort of support, make friends with an underwriter. Like, I can't stress that enough.
Absolutely. I know. I think a lot of LOs view underwriters as kind of their nemesis. They're who they have to go up against. But if you make friends with one,
Oh my God.
that's
Yeah.
it's a game changer, right?
You don't want to fight with underwriters. I mean, look, once in a while, you're going to hit an underwriter that's not good, and that might be something to discuss with management, and you may have to fight some conditions. But overall, like, underwriters are just trying to make sure that they have the best package to sell. And a lot of times they have pretty big repercussions if they miss something. So, I've always been very diplomatic. Okay, I can't say that. There's been a couple times I haven't been diplomatic where I've been like, you're ruining my life, right? Like typical, loan officer, crazy town. But overall, like, we're on the same side. And I know I can reach out to them and say, hey, I don't think this will work because of this. And they'll say, actually, it might, Jen, if you do this, or they'll say, yeah, that's right. So, it's a good relationship.
I love that. When I'm kind of onboarding new employees here and giving them that hierarchy of how this process works, I always like to hit underwriters and say, underwriters are basically God in the loan process. They decide if the loan lives or dies. So why would you not want to befriend that person, have them on your side, have that advocate? Because, yeah, maybe your loan is garbage and they're going to be the ones to tell you, but they might have ideas and they might know of ways that you can restructure or that will help that borrower come back in 6 months and not have a dead loan.
100%. I mean, the thing that and because of YouTube, I get all the calls where people are just being taken advantage of. They're having horrible transactions. And the consistent thread is a loan officer doing a loan that they don't understand. I saw one today where they had totally disclosed it wrong. They're so out of compliance on like 4 different ways, right? They're switching programs. Like, it's insane, right? And they're putting their license at risk. They're putting their future at risk. They're putting their families, money at risk, doing a loan that they don't understand. So it's like, learn the products before you sell them. If you don't understand it, go to an underwriter, you'll be fine. It's pretty simple. Just know what you're selling.
Right. Become that expert. That expert. And until you're that expert, find someone who is an expert.
Yeah. Who can help you.
Yeah. I love that. Well, Jennifer, I don't want to keep you any longer.
It was lovely talking.
Great. I appreciate you taking this time. I mean, seriously, get after it. You're going to lap those guys in no time. Get that #1 VA spot. You've got it.
I'm running for it. I'm running hard. Well, I appreciate you, and chat soon.
Thank you. Thank you. And don't forget, like and subscribe. We'll make sure to include your information so that people know where to find you, because I think you do have so much good information to share with them.
Thank you. Okay. Have a good one.
Thanks.